Hey, before we get started, I just want to make sure everybody knows about the Yes and Improv Festival happening in Ann Arbor, Michigan, June 26th through 28th. Ryan and I will be there along with a stacked list of headliners, including many of your favorite performers from Dropout. They've got improvised Shakespeare, Anna Garcia and Friends, Holy Shit Improv, and the Yes Also All-Stars featuring favorite guests from this very podcast. There are showcase teams coming in from all over the country, plus workshops, special events, and more. Grab your tickets at yesandfest.com. Welcome to Yes Also. I'm Suzi, Barrett, and my guest today is living improv legend Kimia Behpoornia. You know Kimia from her work on Dropout, and you've definitely seen her in 1.6 zillion commercials on your TV. But her improv resume includes Comedy Sportz, UCB, IO, Annoyance, Second City, and The Groundlings. I think that's a full bingo card. This episode is jam-packed. Kimia shares wisdom nuggets from each of the schools she's studied at. She spends a little bit of time demystifying narrative improv, and boy, she makes me miss doing short form. In part 2, she goes into depth about her work on Dimension 20 and the Dropout shows and tours, and shares some really helpful approaches to character. That half is available to our subscribers only, but you can become a subscriber for only $8 by going to yesalso.supercast.com. And for those of you who are already subscribers, make sure you click the private Discord invite link we sent and join the party over on Discord. For more Kimia, I have great news. She will be touring this summer with the live Dropout show, and they'll be in the UK. But for now, let's go hang out with her. Kimia.
Am I sitting correctly?
I don't know. What's our metric? What's correct sitting to you?
Do I look normal?
No, but you... But you look great. You look awesome.
Okay.
You just super weird.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I guess unavoidable.
These chairs are also not your fault. These are
kind of good.
There's just like too many ways to sit. There we go.
I feel way better now.
Perfect. Awesome. Should I try laying down?
Yeah.
No. Yeah?
Yeah.
This looks normal?
You look good.
Okay, cool. Let's start here.
Okay.
You started in short form, is that right?
Yeah, I did.
Where was that?
The 5th grade at Kessler Elementary School.
Oh, wait.
Way back.
Oh, how lucky are you? How did that happen? Wait, and where's Kessler Elementary?
Kessler Elementary is in Sherman Oaks, Los Angeles.
Shit, man.
I'm from here, born and raised. How did that happen? It happened because I was like, well, I'm an only child, super shy guy.
Shy guy.
I know. And then my, as elementary schools have like after school pamphlets of like the different activities you can sign your kid up for.
Yeah.
The improv one was described as like, is your child shy? Do they need to something? And my parents both worked, so they like kind of checked the box on that extracurricular. And I was like tossed into improv after school and
tossed in cold.
I think it was 4th grade. And then I was like, wait, this is amazing. I loved it.
Did you feel that right away?
I kind of did.
That's so interesting. I want to talk about this because it feels a little bit counterintuitive. Like I would think it might be a nightmare for a shy kid to have to like be loud or do things in a group or whatever. But no.
I think I was just always I was already doing little jokes, but kind of just to me, to my cat, things like that. And then I also love to follow the rules. So I was such a good student. So in school, I was like, okay, in class, you sit quietly and you listen and you do your thing. And then I went to a place where they were like, oh, you can make stuff up and yell and whatever. And that's kind of your job here.
Right.
The rules here are you do that.
Yeah. The rule today for this task is to stomp around the room like you're a giant. And now the rule is to change into a tiny, tiny mouse.
What a gift.
Fun. Yeah.
Yes.
Instructive, fun, and sociability.
Totally. And it was already in there for me. So I was just like, oh, this feels good. I'm fine about this.
Yeah. You were always funny, but just quietly.
I think so.
Yeah.
Look, I can say that.
Have you unearthed any like kids stuff that's like you had written jokes or things that you now find funny that you made or wrote or created when you were a kid?
That's a great question. I think there's a bunch of like little short stories that I wrote when I was a kid that I have in my garage that like you're our teachers like bound together and we got to draw pictures and stuff. And it wasn't so much in the writing. I was kind of copy pasting like fairy tales that already existed, but giving them, I was adapting. Let's call it adapting.
You were adapting. There's a screenplay for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was in the adapting screenplay category of short stories, but it was the drawings where I was like, oh, that's funny. I was like drawing little cartoons with like bits in them that were like adding to the story. And I was like, oh, she was there. She was funny.
Yeah, she was texturizing it.
doing
Do you remember
something.
any of the funny?
No, I don't. I did a version of like the Three Little Pigs where like the pigs were kind of bullying the wolf, and the wolf was just like trying to get by in the day.
This is great.
It's really kind of a reversal adaptation.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
Bit like a Laurent, you know. The wolf talks a big game, but then when we see him with the pigs, he's actually low status.
Yeah, it was stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, and I wrote a lot of, I don't know if this is funny, but all of these short stories ended with all the characters kind of dying in the end. And I was like, you never see that. I'm doing that.
What's really funny about that is that as a kid, you had that sensibility of a rug pull or doing the unexpected. Yes. Yeah. A little bit naughty.
A little bit naughty.
Like, well, Cinderella never dies. I'm killing her.
I have the power.
Yeah, right. The end, bitch.
I kind of deal with that.
Yeah. Now what? What does it matter about your slipper?
That's right.
Right?
What was it all for?
Are you happy? Wow, this took a turn.
Well, you asked. That was my dark childhood writing.
Yeah. The short form class that you had, after school program, did this like continue, or was this just like a one-off thing and then you returned to improv later?
It was kind of. So the improv after school was also taught by the same teacher that was doing like the school plays in elementary school. And then I was like, okay, I like this. Maybe I can do that. So then I did the school play. I did Bye Bye Birdie. That was the first one. And I was in fourth grade. I was playing Mrs. Peterson.
Oh, so married to the guy who sings "Kids, I don't know what's wrong with these kids."
No, the
today.
mom, Albert's mom.
Okay,
the one who's like old lady.
That guy's mom. Yeah, real comic relief.
Yeah. So I like put baby powder in my hair,
had a
white
bathrobe
hair,
on.
Yeah. Walked around with a little cane, and I was like, I'm living.
It's so funny how it's such shorthand. Like whatever, because I as a kid, same thing. It's like whatever person is going to grow up to be the comedian or the improviser, they were playing old ladies when they were a kid.
Yes.
Guaranteed.
Right.
Yeah.
I was double cast though. So I was the old lady and then I was
Conrad Birdie.
I wish I would have crushed that. But I was Rosie in the other cast. And I was like, ingenue. Never again.
Cinderella dies every time.
Yeah.
Okay, so you start doing theater then. Does improv continue in the background?
Yeah, because it'd be like in semesters. So it'd be like improv is the first semester after school thing, and then the school play is the next one. So I did that fourth grade, and I did that in fifth grade, and then I wanted to go to a performing arts middle school because they had one near me. It was called Milliken Middle School. I think now it's called Louis Armstrong Middle School. It's still there. Still there if anyone cares. And then they had a performing arts magnet, and my parents, who are straight from Iran, I'm first gen, they were like, this does not make sense. What the hell are you doing? We're not doing that.
We shouldn't have filled out that pamphlet.
Yeah, like we made a grave error. Now we have an artist on our hands. Crap.
We just didn't want a shy doctor, but now we've opened a can of worms. Yeah.
Yes, so they were in trouble, but they pulled me in and they were like, no, you can go to that school, but you're in the math academy.
Sure.
So I did math robotics.
At a performing arts school?
At a performing arts. Well, they had a lot of different magnets. There was a science magnet, humanities, math robotics, and performing arts all in one school.
Wow.
Great school.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. And so I, for 6th and 7th grade, did math robotics.
And?
Love math.
Yeah?
I freaking love it.
Do you?
Yeah.
So you're just good at everything and you love everything?
No. Just the things we've mentioned so far. Yeah.
Just every single thing that has happened to come up organically. But other than that, what's a subject that you're not good at or that you dislike?
I'm not into histories. I know we're supposed to be, especially these days. But like back in school, I was like snooze.
Yeah, it's a snooze fest in school.
And science, I'm not so good at. It feels like they could pair with math, but I just didn't. I like numbers and puzzles. I didn't sort of like to understand the matter of the universe.
It depends what science you land in.
Sure.
I love biology and I'm great at it, but like chemistry, physics, bad at physics.
See, those seem math related though, because you have to do a lot. But I didn't. I didn't like it.
Math.
I didn't like it.
You
still.
didn't like it.
No.
Yeah. You're like, what's the point? The planets go this way, they go that way. Who cares? Give me a meaningless number that's not attached to a noun.
Yeah, let me figure that out. Let me get you an answer on the equal sign. Yeah.
I love it. Cool. Okay, so now this continues. The improv, you're at the performing arts school.
Yes.
Are you still allowed to do the stuff extracurricularly?
No, not really.
No, so we're on a pause.
We're on a pause. We're on math robotics, but we would do this competition every year because we were in Robotics Academy that was like sponsored by Lego, where they where you build these like Lego robots and you program the RCXs, which is like the mothership motor you can download. Like we were like fully doing flowcharts on PC and then downloading programs onto I know, smart stuff. I couldn't do it now. And it was all on themes. So part of it was like you program this robot to do missions, and the other part is you have to do like a social justice thing. Not that, it's not the right word, but it was like a presentation about like why it matters what your robot is doing. And that was an oral presentation, and sort of I was doing those. Or I was like writing sketches to be
as
like
an old lady.
Yes. Yes. It was like the first year was some Mars rover exploration thing that you had to program. And I did this like newscasting from Mars. I like wrote sketches where we were like newscasters on Mars doing updates or something about the robot.
Did you work bits into it?
Oh, it was all bits.
Yeah.
That's kind of why we didn't win first place in the presentations. We won second place because we didn't give enough info and it was too many bits.
So funny. They're like, you had the best robot. It completed it completed a mission that we are actually going to send to JPL for inspiration because the accuracy was unbelievable. But when you presented it, the whole thing was about how sand was blowing into your underwear.
Yeah, they didn't like the joke so much. They wanted me to explain more about the robot stuff, but it's fine.
I love that you did this. Are you still able to like build Lego at an expert level and do kind of stuff that's a little more impressive than the average bear?
No, but I love Legos. I do still build Legos. Yeah. Kind of. I have to get them approved by my wife.
Approved in what way?
That they can like be decoration in the house.
Oh, it's after you've built it, you don't want to destroy it, but she's like, what are we going to do with this like life-size replica of New York?
So if I'm going to buy a Lego, which I only do like once a year around the holidays is when I do a special Lego build.
Yeah.
I get it approved.
It's got to get its stamp. Okay. Does improv arrive back in high school?
Yes.
Okay.
It comes back in high school because I do comedy sports.
How were you allowed to do that when your parents were kind of like sharting it down?
Sharting it down.
You know?
Okay, well, we skipped 8th grade where I got, actually, 6th grade I was forced to do math robotics. 7th, they gave me a choice. I could switch over to performing arts or stay in math robotics. And I went, kind of love it here, staying in math robotics.
Yeah.
8th grade, I went, okay, I'm going to switch to performing arts. So then I was in the Performing Arts Academy doing those classes. And so then when I went to high school, I went to Calabasas High, and they had comedy sports there. And my parents lived through me in 8th grade, just goofing. Yeah. And they were like, well, as long as I was taking like AP maths or whatever. And so I got to do the plays. They were like, this is fine. You're doing everything. It's a fair deal.
It's like, do all your homework and get straight A's. And why wouldn't we let you also dance around like a lunatic? Yeah.
Yes.
At what point did you start bubbling up with an idea of doing this as a career?
Probably senior year of high school when you have to apply to colleges and stuff. I was like, well, I can get a math degree or I can get a theater degree. And I think either way, when I graduate, I kind of have similar options. I'm like, with a math degree, what do I do? Teach math or go to grad school? Or with a theater degree, kind of same, nothing, but I'm goofing off and it's fun. And I was like following my feet to doing that. And I guess I trusted myself enough to make my parents trust me enough to be like, this is what I'm going to go to theater school. It's going to be fine. We're going to figure it out. So,
amazing.
Yeah. And that's probably where I diverted that way.
Yeah. We kind of blew past comedy sports.
Yes, we did.
But I love that sentence that you trusted yourself enough that your parents trusted you also. It's like, shy kid becomes confident kid. They probably saw that growth too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you coming into your own through this stuff, and why wouldn't they get on board, I guess?
That's nice. That's giving them a little more credit. They did a little bit of that. But I also want to make it clear they were confused the whole time about whatever I was up to, and they were sort of riding on like other parents' feedback and audience feedback after shows where they'd be like, she's amazing, and my mom's like, she was? Okay.
Well, my desire to be proud of her overrides my confusion and dislike of what she just did.
It was that.
Yeah.
It was very that where they were like, I guess everyone's saying she's good at this, so fine.
Fine.
Yeah.
A resounding fine, says the New York Times. How did you find comedy sports, and what was that experience like? I love when people do this in high school.
Yeah.
I would have killed to do something like this in high school.
It's amazing. I think everybody should do it.
Yeah.
It's just the best. I found it, because I going into high school knew I wanted to do all the theater stuff, and I already loved improv just from elementary school, and also I grew up watching Whose Line Is It Anyway? We all kind of did that. And then someone told me that there's improv at the high school, and it's called Comedy Sports, and there were auditions, and it was kind of like the first week or two of high school even. And I was like, great, I'm auditioning for that. And then I got into that, and it was a lovely community of just weird goofballs, and we did a lot of short form, and I got super involved with that and doing the plays and stuff like that. It just was like I already knew what to look for, so when it was presented to me, I went something similar to like what I did in elementary school. I'd love to do it. Yeah,
you knew what to look for, meaning like
that realm of the theater world, like improv. Like I was gonna do the school plays, of course. I knew that, but then I was like, oh, improv, I already know about this. A lot of people didn't know what it was maybe going into high school. I was like, I know what this is. I watch it on TV every night, and I did it in elementary school. So I'd love to like be in the club that does it. It's like improv club. Yeah.
And you were in the version where it's like you compete against other high schools. It's like a high school league.
Yes, it's sports.
It's Sportz with a Z.
We had jerseys, and we had to wear specific sweatpants and shoes. You had to wear Converse. There's a uniform.
So they were sponsored. There's a brand deal?
Yeah. Well, if your school was really into it, you could also just do jeans and just wear the jersey. But
gotcha.
Our school was like,
but Converse got the Comedy Sports high school account. Gotcha.
Yes.
Did you compete against like Wysocki and people who we know
I
now?
wish. I met them in college.
Okay.
But I think we're in high school in the same year, but our schools weren't close enough where we competed.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, just Sid and Olivia, probably. They were the only ones that Sydney Heller and Olivia De Laurentiis were like in your like
league. District or whatever. Yeah. Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Did you feel like you were kicking ass in it? Or is that irrelevant? Like,
I mean, it was just about the fun of it and the community of it, more than being good at it. I was like,
I think what I mean to clarify, I don't mean like in an arrogant way. I mean like was the fun overriding the fear? Did you feel like you were like, oh, we're doing this?
Yes, yeah, and I was like president of Comedy Sports Club. I was like fully, I think at the second half of freshman year even, I was like, but I want to be in charge. Can I help? I need help with this. I love this. Let me run this. Running practices and stuff like that.
If you elect me, I promise our red shirts won't just be red. They'll be crimson. And our blue shirts will be more royal than any royal you've ever seen in a monarchy.
Yeah, I'm the type A of improv presidents. Yep.
It's great. Handing out buttons to like the 8 people who vote.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had a pretty big Comedy Sports team too, so that was kind of fun.
That's great. How many people would you say?
There's at least like 40, 50 of us.
Holy shit.
I know. It was like everyone who did the plays, well, people would peter off throughout the year because they'd join and be like, this is when I thought it was. I just kind of needed it on my school resume or something, and then they're out of there.
I'm off to do 80 more clubs so that I can get into Harvard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did
you, okay, and then when you said you were wanting to go to college and having this inkling of going into performing arts.
Yeah.
Were you leaning, I'm going to be a comedian, I'm going to do improv, or was it more broad than that?
It was probably more broad because when you do improv, or when we used to do improv, everyone's like, you just do this for fun. It's not a job.
Yeah.
It is kind of now, which is the miracle of improv. But when we were doing it, they're like, no one will ever pay you to do this. You're just kind of doing this because you like it. And I was like, okay, fully down. I'll ride this however far it takes me.
Yeah.
So I just got into performing arts, I guess, to do, like acting, creative, performing, stuff like that. But it was mostly in comedies because, I mean, I look like this and I sound like this. What are we going to get? This is what we got. I got to be real.
I look like this and I sound like this.
Yeah.
Here we are.
You
know, where's your old lady makeup? Just send me into that room.
Exactly.
You do book a ton of work. Every time I fucking turn my TV or my computer on, there's a different commercial with you in it.
Commercials, yeah.
It's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, it's nice. I like to have the ability to do commercials, and improv gets you that.
Yes.
Commercials aren't my favorite type of work, though, but that's a separate.
Sure.
I don't.
Well, let's talk about this.
Okay.
Now that we've arrived here.
Let's do it.
Yeah. What do you like about commercials and what do you hate about them?
I like commercials because they are. I think it's just a fully different muscle. It's like not what I got into acting to do. It's not really like performing and living characters and telling stories and things like that. You're just fully executing, which is cool because I'm good at that. You know, me, rules, whatever. You like tell me what to do. It's fine. I can remove the ego from like needing to do anything in a commercial. I'm like, okay, I'm the same as the table, the cup you're trying to sell is underneath. I got you. Like I'll make sure the logo's out, this and that, and I'll be charming and make one little joke. You know?
Described exactly what I love about it. It's like, oh, there's like a precision to it and a craft.
Yes.
And if you can do all of that and hold it at just the right angle, but make it look natural and do a little bit of a different thing at the end every single time to like put your own little thumbprint on it, that's a fun challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the math of performing that we do.
I guess I do like math.
So I guess you do this version of math you like. You just kind of execute, right? But then I don't get to do it doesn't feel like art.
Yeah.
And I'll say it. A commercial it's not art.
It is not art.
No.
And it is selling things to consumers and ruining the planet.
Yes.
But my reframe is, if they're gonna make them and I get that money and I donate it to causes and help the pursuit of spreading joy and improv, then it's a little bit like Robin Hood.
Exactly.
Someone's gonna get the money.
I call it blood money sometimes. I get that blood money and then I have it and then
you buy your own blood diamonds.
Yeah, that's right.
But then when you sell those, you use that money. Yeah.
It's a cycle. It's fine.
A cycle.
Yeah. Commercials do that's the thing. They pay well and it's good. But I truly would rather do like an indie movie that pays me nothing or doesn't at all over a commercial that pays me a bunch of money. But that's a privileged thing that I get to say too because I am in these commercials, so I have that.
Yeah, so you have that.
Yeah.
You have all those piles and piles and piles of bloody money.
Yes. Don't come to my house.
No.
It's a mess.
Those bloody piles are approved, but this Lego pumpkin is not approved.
Exactly.
So let's jump ahead, I guess, to I guess the middle chapter between all of that early stuff and now, where you entered your kind of like long form sphere, your like whatever you want to talk about.
From short form to long form.
Yeah.
That sort of happened at Comedy Sportz on the college team. So the college team is just all college-aged people, and it was run through the Comedy Sportz theater, the like actual theater that was on Seward Street in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did that close?
Yeah.
What happened? Do you know the backstory?
I think they just kind of had to sell because it couldn't afford it anymore or something like that. And then
it's so interesting. Like, I wonder about their marketing because when I first moved here, I would have loved to have seen shows there or done shows there. It was like walking distance for me, and I didn't know it existed until like a practice group I was coaching rented the space, and they were like, "We're in the comedy sports space." I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a shame.
I know.
Yeah.
They were on Groupon.
The dying gasp of someone who's like sinking in quicksand.
They were on Groupon when they were thriving.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people came in and were buying like 2-for-1s on Groupon.
It is a great date, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so but you were doing shows?
Yes, we were doing short form shows there. And then as part of the college team, one of our coaches, Eddie Quintana, wanted to start more of like a long form group. So we called that Secret Lab. Because we were just sort of like workshopping different formats. And they were all narrative based formats too. And that was long form. So we do like genre shows. We do like... we did a show called Stardom, which was like a center stage, like at a dance high school sort of, and we all had characters that we played every time. And the bit of that was like in musicals when anyone has so many emotions they start singing, and this one was like when you have a big emotion you start to dance. And we learned how to do really good improvised dancing.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so that was what we would do in rehearsal, stuff like that. So we did something like that. We did a documentary form. We did The Apartment, which is a fun form that I think people still do now.
I don't know it.
The Apartment's kind of cool. It's just sort of you can call different floors in the apartment, and you see like 2-person scenes, 1-person scene. You're like penthouse. You see scenes from that, and then whoever's calling it can move it around to the different levels, and then it all sort of culminates in a party where all these characters you've seen end up in one location, and you see how they interact. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, and it's assumed they all know each other, or it doesn't matter.
It either they kind of do because they're neighbors, or it doesn't really matter. You're just like listening, and the stories can weave together. It's kind of cool.
Who's doing the calling to the floors?
Our coach was the one who was calling the floors, and then at one point it could switch to us calling it ourselves.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to see a certain floor, you thought it would be a great cut too, then you could call it. But it was like we breadcrumbed through workshopping who would call what. But toward the end, we were calling it ourselves.
I
Pretty
love
cool.
this. Yeah, this would be even just valuable as an exercise.
Oh, yeah.
Were you getting suggestions to inform each floor?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get suggestions to play from to just make a character or a situation. Yeah, it's really fun.
Great, yeah.
We did a lot of different narrative long forms. It was really, really fun.
What do you think about narrative improv?
I love it.
Yeah, what do you love about it?
I think I really enjoyed storytelling. So like that's part of the craft of improv. It's like listening and paying stuff off. It's also the way I play too. It like spoke a lot to the way I play, which is like I don't invent as much as maybe another improviser would. I like sort of take whatever has kind of already been said and go from there. Like it's puzzles. I'm just doing puzzles in my brain. I'm like, okay, these are the 3 pieces we're working with. If these are the 3 things we have, we don't need any more. What else can we do with just what we've got? And so that's what the fun of narrative was, which was like witnessing what has already happened and being like, okay, where does that go with what that is?
That's such a great simple demystification of it. I get bogged in it at times, or like I think maybe a trap for my brain is like narrative feels like there's a right answer and a wrong answer, or like, well, what are we supposed to do next, or where is it going, or whatever, rather than just being in the moment and reacting instinctively. It puts me in like a left brain linear thing.
That makes sense. I get that.
How do I get out of that?
I think that maybe that's not for you to think about. You can just, because we're on a team, right? Somebody else will, like me, will have more fun thinking that way. And you're the person who just like spews the specifics or something like that. So you can just be in the moment, vibe, run from your character and say anything you want. And it's not collateral damage. It all matters because somebody else who's listening will be like, well, that crazy thing that you maybe thought was crazy that you said is actually what's going to tie the whole narrative together. And I needed you to say that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And if you're, let's say that's happening, you're on a team with a bunch of me's and you're always the one driving it forward. Do you start feeling like, I gotta find other people to play with who can like pull their weight in this? Like it's always me making the moves.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I do really like being someone who sews things together. So I do not mind that at all. But of course I want to be the goof off too.
Yeah.
But I can make that choice at any time because it's not like you don't have the ability to tie together crazy things that I'm going to say.
Right.
It's just like, what do I want to do today?
Yeah.
Or what feels more fun? Sometimes solving the puzzle for me feels more fun, so I'll stay there. And then sometimes being like, well, I don't have it today. I'm going to be a talking dog.
Yeah. Oh God.
Deal with it.
Oh, that show is true. I talk about this
yeah,
all the time. You
Thanksgiving
were
show.
a talking dog. Yeah. Is that what you were referring to, or you were just saying?
God. But yes, that show was so fun.
It's one of my favorite character things I've ever seen.
Thank you.
For the listeners, we do a Thanksgiving show called the Thanksgiving Feast Show. If you're in LA, it's the night before Thanksgiving, and we all have an improvised Thanksgiving dinner on stage, and everybody comes in with their own kind of like predetermined character. But then it's a mono scene.
Yeah.
You've just decided your character choice ahead of time, or your character game, or whatever. And we email around the day of like, oh, I think I'm going to be like the divorced uncle who's like going through the divorce. Oh, I think I'm going to be someone who's like in an MLM scheme but doesn't know it's an MLM. And you wrote on the day of, and you were like, I was going to do this, but I think I might be the family dog who made a wish to be a human for one night.
Yeah.
We were all like, what? Cut to the show. You had like pre-hidden.
Yeah, I hid under the table.
I didn't know you hid. I don't know how many people did know that you hid, but you hid under the table, like under the tablecloth.
Yeah.
And we were having this mono scene, and we enter one at a time. We're all in the family, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden you like pop out. What the hell is going on? And you played a really sincere, earnest version of what it would be like if a dog became a person.
Yes.
It was awesome.
Thank you.
It was great. It was so playful, but also like you were genuinely like enjoying the meal, and very subtly like in the background, it's like we'd be eating and I would look down and you were just like only chewing on the bone part of the turkey.
Yeah, that's what a dog would do.
Right?
Dogs don't know how to eat food regular.
Yeah. Like, but just like calmly listening, like, listening to this like person's divorce tale, gnawing on a fucking knuckle.
Hey, thanks for remembering. I had a blast.
It was great.
Loved it.
Speaking of narrative, just because this feels like my like personal like biggest challenge of form, I have an easier time making connections and tying things together at the end, like retrospectively, and going like, oh, this fits with that and here and and this is what it all means. In narrative, are you looking ahead and going, are you doing that preemptively? You're going like, okay, so what should happen next and what should happen next plot wise, like a writer?
Sometimes, but it's more like thinking of possibilities. So if somebody brings up a specific or a gift, you're like, oh, in the context of what we've already set up, that might mean in the end it goes this way, or this way. And then whichever way that occurs to me first on instinct, I'll try to lay seeds for, but like that's just me knowing in my head what I thought where that was gonna go, and fully knowing somebody else might take it and switch it, which I want, which is the most fun. Is when someone
switches it.
Yeah, of course. Because I'm like, well, I had a guess of what it was. But as soon as I pass it to you and you make a choice about what I had brought up, it's different now.
Right.
And that's why improv is fun, because we all are sharing ideas. And I don't want it to be the thing I thought of. It's never going to be as good as what we thought of as 6 people together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's where it's like, my brain, it feels the abrasion, because it's like hard if you are like planning or thinking of what's right, then it's hard to let go of that. But what you're saying is do both.
Oh yeah.
Lay seeds, go that way, but as soon as it changes, abandon immediately and go this way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think I'm lucky. I play with like these days I just play with my friends, the people I think are the funniest people ever. So when they change an idea, I go, oh my God, hell yeah. Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
So it's like pressure's off. I don't have to be married to any answer, because I'm just going to be delighted by what your answer is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to get out of this escape room.
Yes.
And if not, what a great place to be locked in.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's why I like improv a lot. I can't, I'm trying to write more, but it's a lot scarier, even though they feel similar. But there's a no pressure to doing improv. And that's maybe what I feel even in narrative improv, because the audience is there and you have a deal where you're like, you're seeing that I'm just making this up right now. So whatever I come up with is a delightful surprise.
Right.
But if I have to sit down and write and I rewrite and I like took time and then the pressure sits in on me where I go, I took a month to come up with this.
And this is the best I got.
So that's why in improv, it's fine.
It's fine. And it'll be new tomorrow and who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to move through the timeline.
Great.
Great. Fine.
Let's do it.
Fucking go. Let's do it. It's comedy sports.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get from there to doing long form?
We were doing a little bit of it at Comedy Sportz, but also I was a big improv nerd, so I was kind of taking classes everywhere, and that's why I went to UCLA. I wanted to stay here on purpose because I guess I'm from here, and I knew I'd return to here, so might as well just like be here and take classes. So
Cut out the middleman.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like, why go away and come back?
Yeah.
I was like taking class at IO, Second City, Groundlings, UCB. I just was like, let me see everybody's way to go. I went to like an annoyance intensive in Chicago for a week once. I just was like reading all the books too, big nerd about it. So that's how I got into that, just by taking the classes, and then certain places most of those places were long form places. So then you dip into that.
Any nuggets that you can impart from any of the schools, or like I like to say, if it was an orchard, like which apple did you pull from each tree?
Yeah. I mean, I went to do that annoyance intensive because that book, McNapier's book, like really blew my mind. I was like, what do you mean the rules are just for the beginning to figure out what you're doing and then they don't matter? Mm-hmm. Great.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing, they talk about simultaneous starts as an exercise in that book. Do you remember this?
Yeah. Two people make like kind of non sequitur starts from each other, and you have to sew them together in the scene. Yeah.
It was that I loved, because it was that proved you can't make a choice that's wrong. Mm-hmm. You just kind of have to work together to figure out why these two things are in this one space.
Why are they right rather than, they're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can kind of do anything.
Yeah.
And you can take the time too to get there. But also that book was also talking about like, as soon as you're going, an audience is watching you, like just do something. Mm-hmm. The freedom of that is like, sometimes you stand there frozen with fear being like, I have to do the right thing. But no, you just kind of have to do anything.
Yeah. You don't need to choose your choice. Let the choice choose you.
Yeah.
Let whatever your weird brain tells you to do in the moment, do that. Or whatever your body starts moving as, do that. Yeah. Something, I can't remember if he said this in that book or if he said it like somewhere in an interview or something, but it sort of relates to this, where he talks about directing at Second City, and someone would pitch an idea and he would never turn down an idea, because he was like, there's never an idea that's not worth trying. It's never that won't work. It's how can we make that work? Mm-hmm. And that's sort of that exercise. It's not, well, this is never going to work because you're in scuba gear and I said we were in a hot air balloon. It's like, no, how will this work? And why does this make sense? We wanted to do two different things on our honeymoon, and this is our compromise.
There you go.
You know, how
it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's exactly it. And it's so funny because also McNapier's the grumpy guy who, like, if he's done this scene a million times, will push past it and be like, I don't want to do the scene. Mm-hmm. Like, I think it was either I saw him do this or I read about it somewhere, where he was doing a scene with someone and they were like, oh, you haven't paid your rent. And he was like, I don't want to do I don't have rent money scene. So he like lifts up his fake hat and is like, here is a bunch of money. Like everything is fake in improv. So you can move. It's like, okay, that's not as interesting as maybe something else we can get into, which I was like, that kind of sucks, but you're not wrong. Yeah. Like, let's see what happens after you like fully pay your rent.
Yeah. When I lived in Amsterdam, we had like a D&D campaign going for a while, and Colton had already left, but he came back for a visit for like an alumni week or something, and he was like, "Can I sit in on your thing?" We're like, yeah, we can make your character, whatever. So he comes in. We're like in the middle of this like months long campaign, and we're like fighting this monster or whatever. And Jim Woods was our dungeon master, and he's like, "All right, Colton, what are you gonna do?" He's like, "I reach into my little pouch and I pull out a vial of acid and I throw it." And he's like, "You don't have a little pouch. Like we know that you don't have any gear." And he's like, "I carried it in my butthole. I reach into my ass. I have acid in my ass, and I pull out the little vial and I throw it." And Jim's like, "Okay, if you roll a 15 or above," and he got like an 18 or something. He's like, "All right, the monster died. You threw acid in his eyes with your fucking butthole acid."
Yeah, man.
But it's that. It's like, if all of this is made up, why can't I have just a hat with money under it? Yeah. And now let's go to the thing that I find interesting or whatever. Yeah. Who was your teacher at your annoyance intensive?
It was
or was it all of?
It was all of them that were there at the time. Rich and Susan. I'm not remembering last names.
Rich Sohn, maybe?
Yes.
Susan Messing.
Yes.
Both brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then Mick himself taught us a couple workshops, which was crazy. You tell him we all went down the line once and said our names, and he had them.
Of course.
And he was like not watching the scenes. He was a crazy character. He's like shuffling cards, walking back and forth. And
Have
we
you
were
seen
doing
his
scenes.
Card trick shit?
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He retained everything about everybody's scene. He sat us all down. We just did some 2-person scenes where I thought he wasn't watching because he was just walking back and forth shuffling cards. And then he was like, "Here's a note for your scene and for your scene and for your," and using all of our names. And I went, "How did you do that? This is a brain that is like listening and it locks in. That's wild."
Smartest person in the universe.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you're using your powers for improv, which I love, but it's like so funny that's where that ended up.
And you're like a little bit cranky.
Oh, so
you've seen
cranky.
So many scenes, but also you're still brilliant at it and still doing it. And yeah amazing. What are the apples from the other trees that you can pull? Second City groundlings.
At IO, it was like they did a lot of organic sound and movement openings, which I sort of was like, how is this going to give me any ideas? But it was like, well, ideas can come from anywhere.
That's a great lesson from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even premises can come from anywhere.
Totally.
We can be walking around like chickens and then turn into whoosh whoosh and then turn into skydivers, and there can be a premise there.
Yeah.
It's looking for the foothold. Okay, we're all skydivers, but we can't just assume that that's what, like, look closely at what the dynamic is here. Or is one person a little bit further from the rest of the skydivers? Yes. Yeah. And then what does that imply? And then what's a fun idea we can pull from that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then and also learning from those openings was just like committing with 4 other people to a thing maybe all of you don't like.
Yep.
But if you commit to it, it looks better than if we don't.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Here we are. If we act like we hate it or we half-ass it, then it's even worse.
Yeah. You gotta just do it.
Yeah.
And then you can get to the thing you want to do, which is saying words.
Right. Saying words. God, I can't wait to just say random words.
Kinda.
Yeah. Right. It is so funny. Like, why do we value that? But we go, ugh. But that thing where we had to pretend like we were dancing around a jukebox. Ugh.
I know. It's all kind of the same.
Finally, I could talk about my sock hop.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, what about Second City and Groundlings?
Second City, I did. Oh, we forgot about this. I did I did Detention Hall, which was their like little teen group.
Yeah,
I did that for 1 or 2 years.
Were you in at the same time as anyone we know?
No, Angela and I, Angela Giarratana did it after me. I think we never crossed.
Joe Fahey.
I don't remember who's in my group, but I'd remember if Joe was there. I feel like Joe's always been Joe, so I would remember that guy.
Yeah, he looks like this and he sounds like this.
Yeah. He's another one. Yeah. He had to do this. He had to do this job.
It was written in the
stars.
There
was no way.
No.
I don't remember who else was there, but yeah, that was just more of me adding extracurricular short form to my life in high school.
Yeah. Gotcha. Any like teaching wisdom that came from there? It's okay if the answer is no.
No, I don't think so. I maybe pulled the least from Second City. It felt really like 1-to-1 from maybe Comedy Sportz
from
or whatever
everything
I was
else.
doing.
Yeah. Anything Groundlingsy that you can teach me?
Groundlings was fine. I just felt like they had these arbitrary rules like that I didn't understand why, but I was like, they're not for me because I've done improv before. They're for people who haven't done it before. Stuff like all of your props are on the fourth wall. I'm like, okay, I can't turn around and use a stove. Fine. Like if you're a woman, you can only play a woman character, which they don't do that anymore. But I was like, okay,
but only just recently.
Yeah, only just recently.
Like as of Tuesday.
Yeah. And they're like, no questions at all. And I'm like, even an informative question that like sets a base reality of our relationship? They're like, no, turn it into a statement. And I was like, okay. And then we do these exercises where you do 2-person scenes, and if you broke any of these rules, you'd have to rotate out. And I was like,
yeah, it's arbitrary.
Yeah.
It also feels so it's like they're like so determined to cling to something and not let it evolve.
Yeah.
Because like no questions in general.
Sure.
Like it's a question is less helpful, especially if it's like, what is that?
Right.
Okay, now you're just making your scene partner do the work. But if you say like, do you want some more of this coffee or should I make a fresh pot?
There you go.
We've learned so much from that.
I guess I'm not saying anything Groundlings taught me. I just sort of was like, also didn't like the way that the school was set up where they really get to pass fail you into the next level. And then you kind of only get one shot. Like as soon as you're not invited into Sunday company or you're not a groundling, then kind of you can't perform at the theater anymore, sort of. And all these other theaters were like, you don't have to be on a house team. You can pitch a show and you can put it up. And I was like, oh, interesting. Cool.
Yeah. They kind of just take your money and then boot you to the curb, and
sometimes they
do.
make
you wait 8 years to get on the thing.
It was a whole process. And I was like, okay, well, I'm glad I took their level 1, so I know what's what. And if I really loved it, I would have like kept going. But I sort of went, I'm getting the same from these other theaters, and I'm meeting more people that I can just put shows up with and stuff like that. So I didn't go very far in the groundling sphere.
Did you kind of and then what was your takeaway from UCB?
Oh, UCB was great. It was performing from your own perspective is like what was really highlighted at UCB, which I really enjoyed. It was like my POV, because we spend a lot of time in 101s and 201s like doing monologues from your own perspective, using the top of your intelligence is just like, what do I know? What do I understand? And that's okay. That's enough. I don't have to make up or pretend that I know a ton about something I don't know about. It's fine to be like, I don't know that.
Right. Yeah, and I don't have to like try to make up a silly reason for something.
Right.
I can just say what I know is true about that.
Yes.
And then we can build a scene from there, which is 2 real people anyway. So like we don't want it to be silly all over the place.
Yeah, I learned a lot of acting at UCB because it was like, oh, what does it look like when I'm in these different situations? Me as Kimia are different shades of me. So it helped my acting a lot to be in those weird improv scenes. Yeah.
For part 2 of this episode, go to yesalso.supercast.com. If you like this podcast and you want double the content, head over to yesalso.supercast.com and subscribe. You can also help us out for free by subscribing to us on YouTube and talking us up to your improv communities. If you have a question that you'd like us to answer in one of our Q&A episodes, or a topic that you think would make a great bonus episode, put it in a 5-star review. If you're a theater who would like to host us for a live recording and improv show, let us know at yesalsopod@gmail.com. A very special thanks to our producer, Ryan Rosenberg, audio and video editor, Brian Kessler, and Britt, Faye, who does our marketing. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week. No, we won't, Suzi. That's not how podcasts work. They won't even see us. They will listen to us, so it's actually the opposite of both things you said. Thanks for listening, and you will listen to us next week. Maybe. We don't know.